Agate Radio News at 9 o'clock on Wednesday, the 28th day of August. This is Shido Taka. Good evening. Here are the headlines. UNICEF resource person urges media professionals to promote exclusive breastfeeding campaign. This news is also streaming live on www.argateradiotv.com. Media professionals in Nigeria have been urged to harness the influence of the mass media to promote the Zero Water campaign on exclusive breastfeeding for a healthier nation. A professor of development communication, Stella Okuna, gave the charge at a two-day media dialogue on exclusive breastfeeding organized by the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Enugu Zonal Office for Benue, Enugu, Cross River, and Anambra states to promote Nigeria's Zero Water campaign for improved breastfeeding practices. Agate radio correspondent Fana Nkwanum, who was one of the participants of the dialogue held at Agulu Town, Anyocha local government area of Anambra State, now reports.
Addressing the participants, Professor Okuna, who was one of the resource persons, said if the media leverages its agenda setting, framing, status conferral, and gatekeeping influential powers, it can significantly contribute to the success of the Zero Water campaign to promote exclusive breastfeeding practices.
Media people, no other group of people in the entire world has the capacity to gather efficiently the quality and the quantity of information and package it professionally and disseminate it widely.
She emphasized the media's role as a change agent, urging journalists to take on the challenge of educating mothers about the numerous benefits of exclusive breastfeeding, thereby empowering them to make informed decisions that ensure the optimal health and well-being of their children. Earlier, UNICEF's Chief of Enugu Field Office, Juliet Chiluwe, who highlighted the importance of exclusive breastfeeding in infants and their mothers, emphasized that it is the fundamental right of every child.
Breastfeeding is not just a health imperative, it is a fundamental right for every child and a vital component for sustainable development. As it was earlier alluded, the factor we have is on how we mobilize, how we build the awareness, the knowledge, and the acceptance that you cannot administer water to a young child.
She expressed concern over the stunting growth in the number of mothers engaging in exclusive breastfeeding and urged the media to ensure the success of the Zero Water campaign as critical partners. On her part, the communications officer of UNICEF's Enugu Field Office, Dr. Ijeoma Onoha, outlined the objectives of the media dialogue to include collaborating with journalists to raise awareness about the Zero Water campaign aimed at promoting exclusive breastfeeding for infants in the first 6 months of life and continued breastfeeding for up to 2 years. Dr. Onoha further stressed the need for employers to support breastfeeding in workplaces by providing dedicated time and spaces for nursing mothers, as well as flexible options that can minimize separation from their babies after maternity leave to foster a conducive environment for breastfeeding. Also speaking, the Anambra State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ben Obidike, who harped on the need for private sector engagement in promoting breastfeeding, called for strict supervision and accountability measures, including punishment for health care attendants who fail to initiate breastfeeding within the first hour of birth. In one of the presentations, the nutrition specialist, UNICEF Field Office Enugu, Mrs. Ngozi Onora, who spoke on closing the gap, breastfeeding support for all, described breast milk as essential to the lifelong health and well-being of both the mother and the child. She said breast milk contains 80% of water, 7% lactose, 1% protein, and 4% fat, which are enough for the dietary needs in the first 6 months of the child's life. One of the participants and the Benue State Nutrition Officer, Mrs. Fosina Shah, stated that the program has enlightened her to further promote the Zero Water campaign in the state, thereby contributing to improved breastfeeding practices and child nutrition.
So as we go back, we are going to impact them with the knowledge of the Zero Water campaign which we have gathered here, apart from appropriate breastfeeding, which we normally want them to start with early initiation, followed by exclusive breastfeeding, and then adequate complementary feeding. The
event featured presentations, interactive sessions, as well as media planning and pitching. From Agulu, Anambra State, Fanen Kwanam, reporting for Agit Radio.
Devolution of powers from the federal to state governments